So hello and welcome. My name is Charlie Hamer. I'm one of the co-founders of Public Sector Network. For those of you that don't know us, PSN is a global community platform that has been around for almost 10 years, operating across Australia, New Zealand, Canada, the US, and the UK. Our mission is to better connect government, industry, and academia to facilitate the sharing of ideas, best practice, networking, and benchmarking. Ultimately, our goal is to drive improvements in government services and achieve better outcomes for communities. We achieve this in a number of different ways. Our events being one, ranging from gatherings of 10 to 2,000 people. Within our event, in addition to our events, we have our academy, which delivers both public courses, custom courses, and in-house. In addition, also our research and advisory division, which conducts regular research council meetings across the globe, produces research briefs on key topics and themes, and offers custom research services as well. All of these elements are brought together via our online community of practice, creating a cohesive space for continuous learning and engagement. So on to today's session, and much more important than myself today, we're going to talk about user experience. As we all know, in today's digital age, citizen-centric design has become essential for government services. Effective user experience and service design are longer nice-to-haves, but key components. They're critical to ensuring that services are accessible, intuitive, and meet the diverse needs of our communities. These methodologies not only streamline processes and reduce complexity, but also enhance overall satisfaction, which is crucial as governments continue to prioritize digital transformation. Placing the citizen at the heart of service design not only improves delivery, but it also builds trust in our institutions. That's why it's so important that organizations continue to invest in UX and service design skills for their public sector teams. It empowers their teams to deliver high quality services and fosters a culture of innovation. Tools such as journey mapping, service blueprinting offer valuable insights into how citizens interact with government services, allowing us to design solutions that are both efficient and truly aligned with real needs. Today, we're fortunate to have Carmine with us, a design and research leader and mentor, who will share his insights on how some of these principles to create more effective, engaging government services. Welcome, Carmine.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, everyone.
So Carmine, let's just jump straight into it. Let's start by talking about the relevance of this topic and field, and your experience with it, and why is understanding and improving customer experience, particularly through UX and service design, so important for professionals today?
Sure. No, absolutely. So, look, Charlie, it's a very competitive market out there, especially when looking at digital services and products. And the expectation that customers and users have is very high. So in order to meet that, as government agencies and the services and products we supply, we need to have a very efficient and user-centered way of delivering our services and products. And it's extremely important these days because some of these services are essential services, and we want our customers to have the most positive experience when interacting with our services or products. Maintaining that customer satisfaction and loyalty is super important and key to a lot of, I think, government agencies. When users want to interact with our products, they want it to be efficient. They want it to be quick and easy. And if we don't understand our users' needs and their expectations when designing these products, they'll turn off them. They'll begrudgingly use these products. So it's so important to actually understand those needs of users and infuse that in our products. The output of that is an emotional connection with these services and products, which is probably unlikely when you're looking at government services, but it's such a great differentiator to have that emotional connection when using products or services that we supply. And essentially, I think the last aspect that we need to think about is the feedback and continuous improvement that we need to employ to ensure that we're always upping the experience and knowing what our users want, because it is a changing marketplace, and especially around digital products, we need to be upfront and understand those needs as they change over time. So I think for me, they're the core elements that I like to focus on.
Yeah, great. Love that. And a follow-up question to what you just said there. You mentioned about the changing needs and trends. Can you share some recent trends or changes that you are seeing with
Yeah,
UX, CX, and service design?
absolutely. Recently, I've seen in the research domain when it comes to UX and service design, the use of AI to actually analyze the research data that is coming in through the research that's been undertaken, and the ability for it to analyze sentiment, to categorize inputs is phenomenal. It's really changed the workflow that I see a lot of my teams undertake. And programs like Miro, for example, and Dovetail employ AI within their workflow, and it really makes the whole process much more efficient. And so that's one aspect I've seen which has really transformed the way we undertake research and the outputs from the research. Um, yeah,
Yeah, great. Thank you. So obviously you've worked with many professionals in this area before. What are some of your tips, your top tips or best practices for effectively integrating UX and service design to enhance the overall customer appearance? How can people,
sure.
get started?
Sure. Look, the most important aspect to employing any type of user-centered design processes is understanding your user and having that feedback, which is a continuous loop with your users, is so integral to ensure that your services and products are actually meeting their needs and ideally exceeding their expectations. So setting up, say, a voice of customer panel, for example, or undertaking some intercept interviews uh, with your customers in context to where your service, for example, is being deployed is so important, because you're maintaining that one-on-one connection and understanding with your users. So the most successful practitioners I've seen out there ensure that that is the first port of call they undertake. And ways you can get started are really simple. As I said, intercept interviews. Um,
Hmm.
Go onto social media and throw out some questions about your product or service and how well it's going. And establishing some kind of feedback panel is so important, because without that, your product or service is dead in the water. Um, it needs constant improvement, and you have to be big enough to actually take that on board and realize, we need to just continue this process of improvement to ensure that our product is meeting our customers' needs. So I would say that that is such an important bedrock to any practice of user-centered design.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So finally, let's talk a little bit about the course itself. What can participants expect to learn, and how will it help them apply these skills in their work? And just a follow-up to that, and also how will this course help participants effectively communicate their insights on customer experience to decision
Mm.
makers and other key stakeholders?
So, look, I've been involved in the user experience space now for 18 odd years, and it started off really as a practitioner's domain. We
Hmm.
didn't have those outside of the UX and service design domain really taking part um, within that process of research and understanding users and then executing those inputs. What I'm trying to do is shift that and actually have anyone who's involved with any product that users need to use be practitioners and also advocates for users. So that's what my course is actually
Hmm.
aimed for. It's really aimed for those individuals who, either manage a product or are part of a product process in some capacity, actually start to take some ownership around users' needs and actually start to execute on the research that they might undertake. So the course itself is split into two. There's the theory aspect of it, which we look at the holistic view of customer experience, and then the fundamentals of UX and service design within that. And then we wrap that up in design thinking, which is an iterative approach to actually understanding those two elements. So that's the theory aspect of it,
Hmm.
which is super important. We then look into the roles and responsibilities of your researcher, of your UX designer, of your product manager. How do they interplay? How does the process work from end to end? Which is really critical to understand that.
Yeah,
The sec,
great.
yeah,
Oh, sorry,
sorry.
Carmen.
Well, the second half is more the practice side, which really excites me. Uh, I basically go through a step-by-step methodologies toolkit, which looks at understanding the user, capturing the user's experience. How do you create the solution once you do that? Prototype and testing. So these are actionable outputs, if you like, that participants can take from the course and integrate into their everyday working life. Because I'm very keen on the practicalities of the course, not just the theory. And so what excites me is when students come in or participants come in and they have a problem they want to solve, we take that problem through the course. And hopefully by the end of it, they've got a resolution.
Yeah, great. I think you probably answered that. My follow-up question there, is there a particular aspect of the course that you're especially excited about? It sounds like it probably could be that.
Yes,
But yeah, no,
no, it
sounds
is
great.
No, absolutely. I think, and that's something that I will stress, is that if you can come into the course with a problem you want to solve, you will get that solved within the process of running the course itself. We finally finished the course with, I guess, an assessment of the UX maturity of the organization you're in. And so we look at a scale and understand where you are on that scale and the work you need to do to ensure that there is a further maturity in the UX or UCD practices, user-centered design practices, that your organization does or does not engage in. So that's a nice way to finish it, because then there are gaps that you are aware of to then start to fill, to hopefully push your organization to be more user-centric.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Carmine. Those insights were fantastic, and much appreciate for taking that time to share that with us today. For those of you interested in enrolling in the UX Masterclass on the 13th of November, be sure to see the link in the comments below. It's an excellent opportunity to enhance your skills in this absolutely critical area. So thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Carmine, and thank you for everyone for listening. We look forward to seeing you at the UX Masterclass, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks.